Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Saturday, March 9th, and you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, acknowledging the bloodline, Jeremy Pearson. We've got a good show for you all today, but first things first, check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course, the 215 on Twitter. Guess what, y'all? The website is live. Still tweaking it, but I'd rather it be live and keep working on it so you can get to it rather than not have it. But today's show, with it being International Women's Month, we're going to talk about the women today, and more specifically the women of WrestleMania. It's going to be a good show, but for now, you know what's next, so just go on and hit my music. So, with today's list, I wanted to look at the future women who are the next women of WrestleMania. We got some rookies in here, and we've got some veterans in here. So we're going to start with number 5, Zelina Vega. She actually hasn't done much in the company in the ways of championship wins. I think all she has is one tag team championship reign. That's when she was Queen Zelina. I think that's they used that to entice her to come back to the company and to drop her union talk. But she really hasn't done much there. But we saw how over she was, albeit it was in Puerto Rico, when she was taking on Rhea Ripley for the women's championship. Zelina Vega is over, competent in the ring. She's got a good group of people behind her with the LWO. It's time for her to get some kind of big win at WrestleMania. Number 4, Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan, probably behind Becky, Rhea, let's say Bayley and Bianca. It's probably the most over women after them. She's extremely popular with the fans. We have seen her growth from NXT to being a multi-time tag team champion, a former women's champion, yet she really hasn't had that marquee match on the grandest stage of them all at WrestleMania. And I think she's really earned that. I think it's time to show that she's falling into this world of being the extreme wrestler on the main roster, and that works for her because there really isn't one, and she's the one wrestler willing to take the big risk, and I would love to see her take that risk at WrestleMania. Number 3, Roxanne Perez. I've told you time and again, she's called the Prodigy for a reason. I have no idea why she is still in NXT. My only guess is to do more character work and to get better on the mic, because she, in my opinion, she's better than every single woman in NXT when it comes to in-ring skills, and sometimes that is all you need to get over. Roxanne Perez is one of the future stars of not only the WWE but professional wrestling in general. She's so young and she has so much to accomplish. It's not a matter of if, but when Roxanne Perez gets that big moment. Number 2, Asuka. Now I know you're going to be shocked at this. Asuka, I believe, only has one win at WrestleMania. One win at WrestleMania. That to me is absolutely absurd. Let's take a look at what happened. She's lost to Charlotte, WrestleMania 34. She lost the tag team titles to Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, out of all people. And it was at the pandemic, but that's a match she should have dominated. She lost to Rhea Ripley, and she lost to Bianca Belair. Oh, so excuse me. Asuka has no wins at WrestleMania. None. Let that sink in. How is that possible? Like, maybe I made it up in my mind that Asuka won a match at WrestleMania, but somehow, some way, she doesn't have the W, and that sucks. That sucks. Asuka deserves better. Asuka deserves better. And we need to fix that. It is very much that simple. Number one, Tiffany Stratton. This chick is over. She is over. And I may not get it, but she has climbed the ladder. And I was really shocked when she was called up from NXT before Roxanne Perez, before Gigi Dolan, before JC Jane, before Blair Davenport. Those women have put in the work and have more experience than her. But something about Tiffany has caught the eye of the people. Tiffany Stratton is slowly growing on everybody. And with the prettiest moonsault ever, I can clearly see her getting that big moment, that big win at WrestleMania. We'll be right back. The spotlight currently shines on two people, Asuka and Kairi Sane, the current WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, after a successful defense this past week against Lyra Valkyria and Tatum Paxley. They will clearly be defending their Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania, whether it be a regular tag team match or a multi-woman match. It usually falls that way. The spotlight is on them because these are two of the best women's wrestlers on the planet, period, bar none. And if you just listen on the episode list, Asuka doesn't have a win at WrestleMania. A woman that has accomplished so much in WWE. She's won a Royal Rumble. She's won a Money in the Bank match. She's won a TLC match. She's been the sole survivor in a Survivor Series match. She has won War Games. She has done everything you can think of except win at WrestleMania. I really thought she was going to get that win. I thought her and Kairi Sane were both going to get that win at WrestleMania 36. That was the pandemic WrestleMania where they defended the tag team championships against Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. And in my mind, I'm thinking there's no way Alexa and Nikki can win this match. They are just not on the same level as Kairi and Asuka. Period. It should have been total domination by them two. And with Damage Control being the forefront of SmackDown right now, the titles will be on the line. And even if half of Damage Control wins at WrestleMania, Kairi and Asuka need to come out winners. I can't take another loss for Asuka. It's not fair. It doesn't make sense to me. Kairi came back from New Japan and Stardom, and there was a reason for that. She has gold now, and she's been getting time to shine, but can she get that big win, that big moment? Because she is a former NXT Women's Champion when her and Shayna Baszler were just putting on banger after banger after banger. These two women have earned the right to call themselves champions, and they've earned the right to win at WrestleMania. There aren't many women that can stand up to them in the ring, and they deserve this. They deserve that moment. We'll be right back. WrestleMania, the granddaddy of them all. It's coming up. There's a part of me that always wishes it could be better. There could be more. And I truly believe that. With it being Women's History Month and International Women's Day, let's talk about the women of WrestleMania. There's a really complex history with women and WrestleMania. There really is. There was a time when they weren't really appreciated, where they were just there. We've come a long way from bra and panties matches and pillow fights and so on and so forth. Times have changed. With the growth in women's professional wrestling, the spotlight has gotten bigger. And there's really no greater spotlight than WrestleMania. So we go back to the really first big boom for wrestling. And we have to talk about Cyndi Lauper. She cast him as her bodyguard in one of her videos, and her boyfriend at the time and manager, was a huge professional wrestling fan. And we got the Rock and Wrestling collection of events. It really was a perfect match. Girls Just Want to Have Fun was an amazing song for its time and for its era. Cyndi Lauper was Wendy Richter's manager at WrestleMania. This worked, and this was a beautiful collaboration of everything. Lauper and Captain Lou Albano, who was in her music video, appeared on Piper's Pit. Wendy and Lou helped get the women's championship off of Wendy, off of Fabulous Moolah. This was just good. It was just good. And we've seen time and again where music and wrestling can come together. To this day, still the greatest promotional hype video is still My Way or the Highway by Limp Bizkit. Rock, Stone Cold. So Cyndi Lauper and Wendy Richter kind of started it off with the Rock and Wrestling connection. And then we had probably the two biggest divas of the time period, Sable and Sunny. So Sable came in first with escorting Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Triple H, and then started working with her husband at the time, Mark Merrow. And it was clear that she was a star. It was clear that she was becoming a bigger star than even a lot of the men. Sable was in a league of her own. She was in a class of her own. She is a former women's champion. And it was at a time during the 90s when it was all about sex sells. And making her debut at WrestleMania, being in a feud with Luna to go against Goldust. She had her time and her moments at WrestleMania, being involved with Nicole Bass, and then even getting involved with an interpromotional tag team evening match. That's what we were going for at WrestleMania. That's the things that we were doing, because at WrestleMania 20, she fought. Let me get this right for y'all. She teamed with Tori Wilson, who was one of the biggest divas of her era too, to take on Stacy Keibler and Miss Jackie. Stacy and Tori are go hand in hand, just like how Lita and Trish go hand in hand. They're always connected. And then we had Sunny, Tammy Lynn Sitch. She, some could say, was even more popular than Sable. She was a manager. She was well known. Again, part of the sex sells era of professional wrestling. You could not disregard her. She helped the Godwins. She helped teams win matches at WrestleMania. She was involved in multiple WrestleManias. She helped the Legion of Doom 2000 become tag team champions. She is just connected with the business. And then, right, we move over to the Divas. This is where the ups and downs of WrestleMania really start to come into fold, because you have to couple three things together, right? With the Divas, one, it was 2-3 minute matches and all about, again, sex sells, but slowly kind of maybe moving away with that. We had Tori Wilson, we had Stacy Keibler, we had the Diva Search, and they really weren't getting their time to shine. So if we go to, let's go to WrestleMania 15. That was in Philly. That was a really, really bad WrestleMania. Sable versus Tori Women's Championship. Divas. We go to WrestleMania 2000, McMahon in every corner. Terry versus the Cat. And a cat fight. See what I mean? And it's can't ignore Terry Reynolds either. And the Divas time and again weren't shown anything proper when it comes to respect. But then something changed. Someone came in. The ninth wonder of the world. China. Starting out as a bodyguard, being in DX, China was different. China was the ultimate equalizer. China, along with four other ones I'm going to get to next, and a few others, were ahead of their time when it came to professional wrestling, when it came to women. China, coming back from a just horrible neck injury, WrestleMania 17, defeated another underappreciated and undervalued woman, Ivory, for the Women's Championship. And it was beautiful. China was magnificent. I miss her every day. And she was doing things differently. And China winning that match, even though it was by far the shortest match on the card, even shorter than the Battle Royal, it showed that the women could be more. The women could be different. They don't all have to be supermodels. And then came four women right after China that changed how we perceive women's wrestling. Lita, Trish, Jazz, Victoria. These four women were ahead of their time, ahead of their curve. And two of them are highly celebrated, Lita and Trish. Whereas Jazz and Victoria aren't celebrated as much, and they should be. Beth Phoenix is now being celebrated more. So is Molly Holly. As much as I dislike her, Michelle McCool. But Lita and Trish captured the wonder and imagination of everybody because they were so different. They both started out as managers, managing a tag team. Well, Lita started out managing S.A. Rios, then she moved over to managing the Hardy Boys. Trish Stratus started managing TNA, Test and Albert. TNA. Lita was able to be herself while Trish was shackled with being, well, TNA. But they weren't going to be beholden to those chains, and broke out more and more, much to the point where they had the first ever women's main event on Monday Night Raw. Jazz and Victoria. Jazz defeated Lita and Trish in a triple threat match at WrestleMania 18. It's a very, very undervalued and underappreciated match. Jazz was ahead of her time. Jazz paved the way for women like Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair and Jordynne Grace. Then we get to WrestleMania 19, where Trish defeated Victoria and Jazz in a triple threat match. And then, if I remember correctly, WrestleMania 20, Victoria defeated another woman who was ahead of her time and much appreciated, Molly Holly. So we get these women showing that we are more than just TNA, and we can be unique, and we can be different. Because at WrestleMania 21, we got the changing of the guard. So Trish Stratus was still here. She defeated Christy Hemme. And then we get to 22. Who could forget Mickie James, Trish Stratus? You see where we go? Trish Stratus had to be on the card, but on that same card, we had Tori Wilson and Candice Michelle in a Playboy pillow fight. So we take steps forward just to take steps back. But Lita, Jazz, Trish, Victoria were breaking the mold. They were changing the game. We get to WrestleMania 23. Take a little step back, because we have Alina, who was a little mixture of wrestler and diva, taking on Ashley Massaro in a Lumberjill match. So all the goodwill we built up before, we kind of lost. We get to 26, and we start getting Beth Phoenix and Melina. We start getting integration with celebrities. Time goes, time passes, and we still have a little bit of divas, but we see the glint, to the glimmer there. And then we have just a downfall in Santina Marella winning the Miss WrestleMania Battle Royal. That was disgusting. You had so many talented women, a mixture of divas and wrestlers, and you have Santino win this. This was the women's only part on the card. Look who else was in this Battle Royal. Alicia Fox, good wrestler. Brie Bella, diva. Eve Torres, really good wrestler. Gail Kim, GOAT. Jackie Gator, diva. Jillian Hall, mid. George Giovanni, diva. Kata Lee Burchill, good wrestler. Kelly Kelly, diva. Layla, solid wrestler. Maria, diva. Maurice, started out as a diva, became a solid wrestler. Melina, good wrestler. Michelle McCool, good wrestler. Mickie James, GOAT. Molly Holly, GOAT. Natalia, GOAT. Nikki Bella started out as a diva and became a really good wrestler, and I will always give her credit for that. Rosa Mendez right there in the middle. Sunny, randomly. Tiffany started out as a diva and transcended things in wrestling, and has one of the greatest women's wrestling matches of all time against Gail Kim and TNA. Tori Wilson, GOAT. Victoria, GOAT. You have all this talent, and you decide to have Santino win a women's battle royal. It's like when you had Harvey Whippleman become the women's champion. But we have this down point. We have, 10 diva tag matches at WrestleMania, and nothing's really breaking through. The women didn't even wrestle. have a one-on-one match at WrestleMania 27. They were stuck in a 6-person tag match. Why? And things weren't going well. We had more diva shenanigans. Explain to me how Kelly, Maria Menounos defeated Beth Phoenix and Eve Torres at WrestleMania 28. You can't make this stuff up. And while this is going on, we are begging, we are pleading with the company. We need more from the women. We want more. The women didn't even have a match at WrestleMania 29. Let that sink in. It's not a great WrestleMania. But something changed. There was a woman who was like Lita, different, and she stood out in this grouping of 2-3 minute matches, the butterfly belts. That was AJ Lee. AJ Lee had her own pipe bomb. She had her own way of telling the company, yo, this ain't it. We want more. We deserve more. We deserve better. And her pipe bomb was beautiful, because at this time we had Total Divas, and AJ Lee knew she wanted to be a wrestler. She knew that she did not want to be a Total Diva. And AJ Lee won back-to-back matches at WrestleMania. WrestleMania 30, she won a Women's Battle Royal to retain her championship. WrestleMania 31, she teamed with Paige. To defeat kind of the big poster of the Divas era, the Bella Twins. And things were great, but that name, Paige, something was brewing. Down at NXT, something was brewing. 5 women were changing professional wrestling. Paige and the 4 Horsewomen. Paige, who you know now, Soraya in AEW. Sasha Banks, Bayley, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch. While Vince McMahon was messing up the main roster, Triple H was making something special down at NXT. These 5 women were given an opportunity to grow, to put on characters, to show like, hey, we're good. We're really, really, really good. Banger after banger. Paige being the first NXT Women's Champion wasn't a surprise. Sasha Banks, Bayley putting on bangers in NXT. Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, changing the game. Correction, changing the game in the WWE. Because let's not forget, WWE may have claimed they started the Women's Revolution. No. That goes to TNA. Never forget that. So Paige and Charlotte and Becky and Sasha and Bayley were giving us gold. WrestleMania 32, Charlotte Flair defeated Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks to crown the inaugural WWE Women's Champion. WrestleMania 33, Naomi winning the SmackDown Women's Championship. Bayley defeating Charlotte, Nia, and Sasha to retain her Raw Women's Championship. The women were given time. The women were being great. And it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. And we could see that WrestleMania isn't just for the men. It wasn't just for the men. And then someone came along. Someone who was breaking down doors in the mixed martial arts world. Rowdy Ronda Rousey. Ronda had a match, WrestleMania 34. We had not one, not two, but 3 featured women's matches on the cards. Ronda Rousey got involved with Triple H and Stephanie. This is when the whole authority thing was going on. And it led to a tag match at WrestleMania. Now, mind you, her partner was Kurt Angle. It was supposed to be The Rock. I think The Rock, I forget what movie The Rock was filming. But Kurt Angle is not a bad partner to have around with you because, you know, it's Kurt freaking Angle. And with Ronda dominating UFC and finally retiring, moving over to the WWE, I was there at her debut at the Royal Rumble in Philadelphia. Ronda catches a lot of flack, but I respect Ronda. Ronda loves professional wrestling. Because with Ronda there, with this mainstream performer, you can't rest on your laurels. Because at WrestleMania 35, we got the women main eventing WrestleMania. Now, yes, it should have been Becky versus Ronda. Charlotte Flair should have not been thrown into this at all. Charlotte Flair does not have to be in every single match. The women main event of WrestleMania. And it wasn't like, oh, they didn't deserve it. Becky was on fire. Ronda was on fire. Charlotte was just there because of Vincent Kennedy McMahon. And we see the path and we see the woman grow. And now they're getting the time to shine at WrestleMania. Now we have the rise of the man in Becky Lynch. We have Lita and Trish making comebacks, winning matches at WrestleMania, and a beautiful thing, honoring the past. And now we have the EST and the brutality. Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, starting out in NXT and becoming great. There's no bigger star, with the exception of probably Becky Lynch, bigger than Rhea Ripley in the WWE right now. Rhea Ripley is just over, and now these two women are fighting each other at WrestleMania. Becky Lynch has helped grow that division with the man moniker. Bianca Belair has like back-to-back wins at WrestleMania, defeating Sasha Banks in the main event of WrestleMania, defeating Asuka, defeating Becky Lynch. And it all started in NXT. And it all started with the Horsewoman and Paige. And now here we are coming up to WrestleMania 40 with, at the very least, 3 guaranteed matches on the card. I'm actually guessing there might end up being 4 to 5 women's matches on the card. We've acknowledged the growth. We've seen the growth, and it is very, very, very beautiful. Love it. I love it. WrestleMania is for everybody. With the right booking, with the right story, you can get as many people as you want on the card. And the women have earned the right to be there. Like, for example, I would do... So we have Bayley Io, we have Rhea, Becky, we have the Kabuki Warriors, right? They're going to be defending their women's tag team championship. So that's 3 matches. So who's missing? I feel like we can get Bianca on the card. Bianca's going to find her way on the card some way, somehow. So will Naomi. So will Zelina Vega, whether it be a tag match, whether it be maybe a triple threat match. But there are so many stars now on the women's roster that you have to, well, in the words of our tribal chief, acknowledge them. It's that simple. Get them going. I'm here for it. From Cyndi Lauper to the Divas to Lita and Trish to AJ Lee to the Four Horsewomen. We've seen this path and it's beautiful. We cannot stop. I, for one, am ready for more. But that is our show, ladies and gentlemen, the women of WrestleMania. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. Next week coming up, we've got part 1, 2-part show. Actually, no. We have a list coming up, part 1 of the list, the worst WrestleMania main events since 2000. We have a flashback Friday because I didn't do one yesterday. I was under the weather. And we have episode 167 of the High Risk Wrestling Podcast, WrestleMania 35 and What Went Wrong. This is going to be fun. And if I don't do WrestleMania 35, I'm going to pick another one because there is a WrestleMania that just wasn't good. It's probably not WrestleMania 35. But let me know what you guys think. Greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube. Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. The website is live, and as always, Gigi Dolan, Isla Dawn, Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, Anna J, and Bailey. Holla at your boy. Peace.